This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Every single time I sit down and I meet with homeowners, one of the questions I always ask is this property held in a trust? And most of the time, people say no. And that really surprises me given how beneficial a trust can be. And so on the show today, we're still with Haley Bolger, and you actually have an interesting trust story.
Oh, yeah.
You mind
So
sharing?
can you explain a little bit about how a home becomes part of a trust?
Yeah, Haley, take it away.
Okay.
Just real quick.
So when you purchase a home, you can vest it several different ways. Most of our clients buy it, husband and wife, and they're 50-50. So if a spouse dies, the property just automatically goes to the husband or the wife. Within the trust, it's protecting your largest asset, but also, so it's not subject to probate. And then also there's tax benefits for it, and there's what else is it? Where basically you protect, so your name, like if you were to get sued or something like that, they couldn't go after your actual asset of your home because so many people have equity.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing that I learned from taking the trust class is that you never want to put a trust in your actual name. So it'll be like the Haley Bolger Family Trust. You absolutely do not want to do that. And in the trust that I do see, 9 times out of 10, they're in their full name.
That is what it is. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, who did this and why did your trust guy let you do this?
So how do you name it then?
Oh, you just, randomly pick out.
The Made for More
Yeah.
Foundation.
We're trees. I'm a tree,
Yeah. Willow? Is it Willow?
I'm Willow. Yeah.
She's Willow
well, now
tree.
everybody can come after me. No, just kidding.
She's Redwood. Haley's
Yeah.
Redwood. Yeah. But so basically, Haley's right. So for example, there's an estate sale taking place down the street from where Valor and I live, and we're trying to figure out, okay, maybe this person's looking to sell the house. What's going on here?
Yeah.
We could not figure out
them.
who the homeowner was because it was held in a trust, and the trust did not have the name of the homeowner on it. Normally, if it has the name of the homeowner, which normally it does, we can do this thing called skip tracing, where you're able to find that person's information and give them a call. We couldn't do that, so Valor had to roll the stroller down the street and show up to the estate sale and talk to the neighbor and figure out what's going on there. So trusts are great for privacy. Honestly, most of the time, what we end up using it, why I see most people use it, is to avoid probate.
Yeah, because it's huge amount of money that people don't realize that they're giving up to the attorneys and to the courts for them executing the probate, and also they don't realize that it's on a tier. So if your house is worth more, you're paying the attorney more. You're paying for the courts more.
And it just takes longer. You're not in control.
Gosh. And it's a nightmare for your kids and your family. Like now you lost your spouse or your loved one, and now you're having to deal with that, and attorneys. Nobody wants attorneys when you pass away.
Yeah. And just to put like a dollar amount to it, I heard once the average cost, like this is the average, this isn't low, this isn't high, this is average cost of probate is $27,000. And what's the cost for a typical trust, Haley? Like $1,500, $2,000?
So I call it the a la carte trust. So it depends on if like you want to just specifically only do your main property in a trust. You can get it as low as like $600. If you want to encompass everything, your cars and your financials and your 401k and all that kind of stuff, it runs between $1,800 to $2,500. And then it's also like if you're single versus married. So it's kind of like a tier, but everything's workable.
So for $2,000, you're saving $25,000 on average.
And that's like the minimum, because then you get family involved.
Yeah.
And then the family starts going after certain things, and then that costs more money. So it just goes up from there, to be honest.
Yeah. So it really makes sense for people to have their assets in a trust. And that's something Haley's really pushing hard to, because you've experienced the benefits and some of the negatives about trusts, and but this is something that we can actually do at the closing table, right?
Yeah, so now we can incorporate it. We've got a company that we're working with that simultaneously we can do it throughout the transaction, and the listing agent we don't actually need much from the seller at all. The title company will get the documents from the trust company, and they will simultaneously close it at the same time. And then we just communicate throughout the whole process. Like if they want to add certain people or add other assets in there, we can facilitate that as well. So it's a huge benefit to people. And I will tell you, out of being in real estate for 18, 19 years, I've seen about 5-6 transactions in a trust, and everybody else does not have a trust. So it's a pretty much a huge deal right now.
So tell us your story.
Okay, so the story is that my grandparents, after 42 years of being married, got a divorce, and they had a will in place. And they never thought, well, we should redo it after we got divorced.
Oh, man.
So they ended up apart for probably 5-7 years. And my sister was getting ready to graduate. It was like 2008. And my grandpa ended up having a stroke. And when we went to the hospital, they're like, hey, he's probably not going to make it. He's, had a major bleed, and 9 times out of 10, we do not see them recover. So we were all bracing for the worst. And he ended up making it through the night, thank God. And come to find out, Grandpa had not updated any of his stuff from the divorce. And so thank goodness, he came back and was able to redo his trust and all that kind of stuff. But had he not come back, it would have been a drag-out fight, because some of the assets and things were still in my grandma's name. Some of the people weren't even around. So updating your trust and having everything, up to date is huge. And then I also have another client right now getting ready to list his house, and he doesn't have his home in a trust, and he accidentally put his daughter on title. And now the daughter is refusing to sell the house, and he needs to go to assisted living. And because she won't sign off on it, he's basically living in this massive home by himself, paying high utility costs, has no help. And, right now he's like, well, do I hire an attorney? What do I do? And
just to be clear, she's not wanting to put him in the home because the home's expensive, and the house will pay for the home, or?
Well, she caught wind of amount of equity and now wants to be paid out before his death, but that wasn't his wishes. But because he doesn't have a trust in place, they won't allow us to remove her. So it's a big deal now, because he's pretty much stuck until he either hires an attorney or has to pay her out, because how she's vested on title, she's entitled to 50% of his equity.
Wow.
So it's huge, and so I've just been trying to help give him resources to, be able to hopefully sell his house down the road and get him into a place that he can get, 24-hour care, because he's up there in age and he can't drive anymore. And, it's a big falling's a huge thing. I left for Mexico and I called to check in, and he had broke his arm, and so, and also I don't know who to call, if something were to happen, if I show up at his house and I'm checking in on him, I don't know who to even call, because he doesn't have anything in place.
Yeah. So it's just really important, if you are buying a house or if you own a home, get that trust.
Yeah. Bite the bullet, pay the money. Or, we even have instead of gifting my clients a home warranty credit, I would do a trust credit, and that way it alleviates money out of their pocket, but also protects them.
Yep. Way more than maybe what a home warranty would.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, all right. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, Haley, just go to Made for More Realty. You can call us, you can Google us. You'll see Haley has tons of 5-star reviews on our website, and just ask for Haley Bulger.
Hey, before you go see a movie in the theater, do you ever go online and check out the Rotten Tomato reviews? I do, because I don't want to waste my money on a bad movie. Well, how about when it comes to selling your home? Are you doing the research when it comes to finding a qualified, experienced, effective real estate agent? Well, there's a reason why Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty have over 1,000 five-star Google reviews, why they were voted #1 team in Roseville for 3 straight years. So if you'd like to get at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition, just Google Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty and get more for your home.